After reincarnating 4 times, the first thing I did was beg my Prime Minister dad to let me be a servant. I was even willing to marry my half-sister as a concubine. Because in my past 3 lives, whether I married the Crown Prince or the Third Prince and or played both sides, I always ended up dead. But my half-sister? She was always totally fine. Right before I died in my 3rd life, I watched my half-sister become Empress. That's when I knew. She's the main character of this world. I open my eyes, reincarnated again, and I hear my Prime Minister dad's voice again. Wanwan, the Crown Prince and the Third Prince, which one do you want to marry? And just like that, the whole thing starts over. The Emperor had promised both his Crown Prince and Third Prince to the Prime Minister's daughters. There are only 2 daughters in our family. I'm Su Wanwan, the legitimate daughter, and my sister is Su Yingying, born from a concubine. Every single life, my parents let me pick first. In my first life, I was pretty naive. I picked the Crown Prince, but the Third Prince ended up becoming Emperor. The Crown Prince failed his coup, then dragged me into a burning building with him. In my second life, I tried to fix things and picked the Third Prince. Of course, the Crown Prince took the throne. The Third Prince got locked up, and we both drank poison together. Third life? Okay, I'll admit I was gambling. I played both the Crown Prince and the Third Prince at the same time. Never could have guessed. I accidentally pushed my sister into becoming Empress. The Crown Prince found out I was playing them both and dragged me and the Third Prince to our deaths again. No matter what I chose, I couldn't survive. And that's when it hit me. Whoever my sister picks becomes Emperor. Whoever she doesn't pick never makes it. She is the main character. So this time I finally said it out loud. I want to marry my sister, and even as a concubine. My dad was completely lost. What is wrong with you? My sister Su Yingying, your classic frail, delicate flower, was standing right next to me, perfectly composed. I grabbed both imperial decrees and went, "Sis, come here, you pick first." She glanced at our parents, clearly uneasy. My dad just sighed. "Let her pick first. Wanwan gets whatever's left." My sister, always reading the room, gave a stiff smile. Then, the Third Prince, I guess. My mom gave her that smart choice look. I thought about it for a second. Fair enough. He's technically illegitimate, so he's a bit beneath us. But the Third Prince is gorgeous, so at least he'll keep my sister warm at night. My dad looked absolutely horrified. That is your personal opinion and has nothing to do with this household. My mom nearly choked on her tea, but I wasn't done. I threw the Crown Prince's decree on the floor. My dad instantly snatched it up and clutched it to his chest, eyeing me like I was a threat. I waved someone in. "Hey, transfer all my dowry to my sister. And add my name onto her dowry list." My mom couldn't believe it. "What do you think you're doing?" My sister froze. "You want to marry the same man as me?" Ugh, she got the wrong idea. "Sis, think bigger. I'm just applying for the position of your personal maid." Su Yingying stared at me, completely confused. I raised my hand and swore, "From this day forward, I am your loyal dog." Then I leaned in close to her ear, shielded my mouth, and whispered, "Anyone in this house you don't like, and just tell me. I'll get rid of every single one of them." My mom smashed her teacup. What kind of nonsense is this? A concubine's daughter taking the legitimate daughter as her dowry. I jumped in front of my sister, terrified the shards, from like 6 feet away, might somehow hurt her. My mom spoils me rotten, but she's never liked my sister, because my sister was born from my dad's mistress. When my dad brought her home, my mom was so furious she got sick for 3 days. And to make it worse, my sister grew up way prettier than me. My mom figured that dead mistress must have been gorgeous too. It only made her more miserable. I dropped to my knees immediately. "Mom, please, just let me stay by my sister's side." I looked around, crawled across the floor, and grabbed onto a pillar. "Otherwise, I'm smashing my head into this thing. Your call." My mom stood up, furious, and made the call. "Fine, then neither of you is getting married. You can both rot at home." My dad, who's totally whipped, actually pushed back for once. He said my sister could still get married. And as for me, if I'd gone crazy, so be it. I quietly snuck behind my parents, raised both arms above my head, and made a heart at my sister. Look, at my peak, I had both the Crown Prince and the Third Prince wrapped around my finger. There's no way I can't win over one woman. My sister hesitated for a long moment, furrowed her brow, and said, "Forget it. Then I'm not getting married either." I wouldn't want to trigger my sister's condition. I blew her a kiss on the spot. Su Yingying stood there stunned for a second, then picked up her skirt and bolted. My dad rejected the Emperor's arranged marriage. The reason? His legitimate daughter had lost her mind. She's haunting the concubine's daughter like a ghost. The Emperor said he'd never heard a more insane reason to refuse a royal marriage. So he had the Empress throw a banquet and invited both of us into the palace, to see for himself if I was actually crazy. The Empress called me and my sister up in front of her. "I've heard the Prime Minister's 2 daughters are known as the Twin Graces of the capital. I can see why." Twin Graces? That sounds super lame. I already had that changed. "My sister Su Yingying is now officially the #1 girl in the capital." The Empress blinked. "And what about you?" I leaned right, wrapped both arms around Su Yingying, and went, "I'm her little baby, of course." Su Yingying looked mortified, but couldn't shake me off no matter how hard she tried. I just kept smiling, and I kept that smile all the way to the talent showcase. Su Yingying had loved the Guqin since she was a kid. Her technique was flawless. When the last note faded, the music seemed to linger. Everyone in the room was completely stunned. The Empress was moved. The legendary piece by Empress Meng of the Yuan dynasty has been lost for centuries. I can't believe Yingying could recreate it so faithfully. My sister stood and bowed, graceful as always. Then it was my turn. I remember Wanwan's Luyao dance from last year. She outshone every noble girl in the capital. Yes, dancing is my thing, and I decided it was time to give them a real show. Your Highness, ladies, Wanwan has choreographed a brand new piece dedicated to her sister. Someone offered to play accompaniment. I turned them down, because this was a full sing and dance performance. Sis, you're my goddess. Sis, you're my girl. Like a giant wheel of love pulling me under, deeper and deeper. Being your little babies, I just want to take you on a date. You're always number one to me. It's your icy attitude that makes my heart race. Like a deer running wild, I get jealous for you any day. Big smile, upbeat vocals, skirt twirling, dead silence. The entire room turned to look at my sister. My sister snapped back to reality, cheeks completely red, and hid her whole face behind her fan. From behind the fan came a muffled voice. Wanwan sang, "Pretty well." Pretty well? I'm a seasoned pro. In my past lives, both the Crown Prince and the Third Prince heard me sing the Gege version of this song. Those two jerks still let me down every single time. The Empress said my performance was refreshingly original and invited me to stay at the palace for a bit. I wasn't feeling it. Anywhere that isn't next to my sister is a no for me. My sister picked up on my anxiety and stepped in to cover for me. Your Highness, please don't take offense. Wanwan hasn't been well and needs to rest at home. The Empress didn't push it but sent me off with several cups of wine. I was pretty buzzed. I stepped outside to get some air. And the second I got behind the hall, someone yanked me into the shadows. Su Wanwan, have you actually lost your mind? The Crown Prince appeared out of nowhere. I sobered up fast and shoved him back. But based on the original timeline, we shouldn't even know each other yet. Something's off. I stared at him for a long moment, then tested the waters. Crown Prince? He froze for a second, then broke into a grin. You remember me? You reincarnated too? What do you mean too? I've done this 4 times already. I stepped back, heart pounding. Seeing him was like seeing the Grim Reaper coming to collect. What do you want? I am not dying today. The Crown Prince wanted a fresh start. He was dead serious. Wanwan, last time you married my third brother and he got you killed. The time before that, you were sneaking around with him and it ended terribly. This time, marry me. No side pieces, no drama. I could not believe what I was hearing.